Let us begin. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kobibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravanamangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. In our last class we were discussing that 19th, we were discussing that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is visiting some of the devotees' house, and he was a very close one, and Sri Ramakrishna used to like him, love him. So one thing we can understand, we can observe the pattern, how he is spreading his message, not through any newspaper or any article, and in those days there was no TV, radio, no media. The God himself is going to those people's house, those places where he can get some other people also. So that is the wonderful system he developed. Before him it was almost absent. But Sri Ramakrishna, he is going to the ordinary householder's house. Previously we have seen that the Bhagavan Buddha, he is going to different places. Shankaracharya, he is also visiting some of the places, different places, inviting the learned people, discussing with them, debating with them, and then spreading his message. Here Sri Ramakrishna, he is going to only ordinary people, very ordinary people, and then he is talking with them. This is very, very important. And this time Thakur has come for them only, and particularly for the ordinary people, the householders. So he is visiting different houses, and whenever he is going, he is not only talking or visiting or meeting only those people of that house. No, he is encouraging him to invite many other people. So nearby people and the neighbors, they are coming, friends are coming, relatives are coming, and Thakur is talking with them. This time he is in Shurendra's house, and he is talking with his brother. You are a judge, that is very good, but remember, everything happens through God's power. Look at it. Even if we go on reading hundreds of scriptures, Upanishads, Vedas, will you get this straight, direct teaching? This is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. You are a very special person, you are in the society, you are a successful person, but remember that everything happens through God's power. This is a wonderful teaching. The moment we can remember that, then what happens? Particularly two people they suffer. One, very successful people, and they think that I am successful. The superiority complex. Oh, these other people, I don't like to talk to them. I like this, I don't like to mix with them, I don't like to sit with them. So that way they try to survive, and slowly they are going inside the cocoon, and through this ego only they are destroying all their good deeds. We do not understand this. This is not affecting immediately. We cannot see this. So this is the difficulty. The person is a good person. Maybe he is donating, maybe he is visiting the pilgrim centers, but because of his ego, he is ignoring others, criticizing others, looking down upon others, and by that way he is reducing all his good deeds and going back to the very wrong place. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is reminding, and who is Sri Ramakrishna? God himself. When we read the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, this is the speciality. One should read with very, very careful mind. And we will hear him again and again, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha. So many people, thousands of people, hundreds of people, they will be going to the temples, churches, and they are doing so many other good things also. They are fasting for months together, practicing so many other things, but unfortunately not listening to those words which are really beneficial for spiritual development. They memorized so many slokas. They can chant the whole Gita. They can chant from the Bhagavata, from the Upanishads, line after line. But only thing, that a very simple thing that they forget to get, learn, hear, that is ego. That one should be free from ego. And how to be free from ego? He is telling over here, he who has given you high position, that is how you became a judge. He is talking with the judge. He, the God, has given you this high position, and that is the reason you have become a judge. Very simple. But the person can never believe it. I am doing. Only this much. In the beginning, this ego, the I confidence, the Swamiji is telling, develop the self-confidence. I can do. When others can do, I too can do. But at the same time, you have to go on repeating with the help of God, because if the God is not giving, I cannot do anything. So here Sri Ramakrishna is telling, the Brahma devotee, that Surendra, he is mentioning, he has heard, but as if not giving much importance on that teaching. This is also another thing. So many people, they go to listen to the sermons, they will be attending, but they don't pay much heed to that. Why? They are not sadhakas. The sadhaka, his whole attention in such a way, his mind develop in such a way, that whenever the word will come out, that particular word which is beneficial, immediately he will catch it. So that is why this is the difference. When a person, when so many people, students, they are listening to the teacher, and one or two only very intelligent students, they can understand these are the sentences, these are the paragraphs, and these are the places of the topic, of the subject we must pay attention. So this is the speciality of the Shishya, the disciple, the student, the listeners. So that's why when the Bhagavan is telling, if you read this paragraph, Sri Ramakrishna is going on telling, his reaction is not much. He only listened to it, he is going to another question. Immediately he is asking, the Brahma Samaj preaches the freedom of women and abolition of the caste system. What do you think about that? So he is talking about the high spiritual thing. Now he is asking question about the relatively social problems. There was a time when slavery was a great problem. And not only here in America, not only in the Europe, not only in Africa, and almost every places. Even nowadays in India, there are places where they will be giving some money as a loan to a person. In the villages, remote places, the people will not know, and they are so illiterate and so very ordinary. They do not know the whole world has changed. Just for the survival, they will go to a person who is rich. He will say, okay, take this money. Then he will go on telling that this is the interest that you are paying, but originally you are not paying. The original is going on accumulating, only little bit of interest you are giving. Then who is going to pay back? Who is going to give like that? So your son also should do. Your daughter also should work. Your wife also should work. The whole family is going on working all through their life. But the poor family, the poor people, they don't understand when they are going to be free from that debt. They can never become free. Still, it is there, in vogue, in society. And how we are going to solve it? There are so much of education, still there are so many tortures, so many things are going on. The society always rotates in this way, one after another, the problems crop up, it goes on like this. So that is one part. And second is the development of your spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna immediately answering, see, this men feel that way when they are just beginning to develop spiritual yearning. The men are feeling that we have to fast, make everything correct. In the society there should not be anything wrong. That way they are thinking. But in the society always there is something you cannot solve. But those people who are sensible people, good people, who can become a devotee, who can realize God, he thinks that I have to first go and make whole society happy. Can you make the whole society happy? Hundreds of people are dying for an ideology. And when that ideology is established, then again thousands are tortured, millions are tortured. We see in the history, it is always there in the society. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, if you are concentrating for the spiritual development, concentrate on that. This is very, very important. Then he is telling, understand, God alone is the highest good, the eternal substance, and that all else is transitory. This is very, very important. God alone is the eternal good, the highest substance. Eternal substance, the highest good. God alone. And everything that we see is nothing but the transitory. Nothing remains. Everything is changing. Everything is moving. How long we will go on thinking about that? A little bit, whatever possible, whatever comes on the way, that is sufficient. I am going to solve all the problem? Impossible. So that is the reason those who are really interested to develop the spirituality, those who are really interested to realize God, they are called mumukshu. Mumukshu means those who are having the desire for liberation. The liberation, the concept is not there in the mind. The concept of God is not very clear. And look at these people, each and every one, they are going on thinking that my religion is the best, my God is the final, and whatever, where you are leading to. So this is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. Then he was telling, solving a social problem, particularly prevailing in India. You asked about the caste distinctions. There is only one way to remove them, and that is by love of God. Lovers of God have no caste. The last time also we were discussing, and we know, most of us, that there was an incident that happened in the life of Ma Sharadamani Devi. And we should not forget that we are discussing about this incident that happened so many hundreds years before, when the Indian society was totally closed to society, very, very orthodox society. Narrowness was too much. Ignorance about the true religion was almost absent. And that time, Ma Sharadamani Devi, a lady, and that too a widow, she has gone to Bangalore, and people have come to respect her. Some, just by hearing that she is the Guruma, the mother, of the spiritual mother of Swami Vivekananda. He was a very famous personality, so they all have come to listen to Mother, to see Mother. And there are many, many incidents. In Bangalore, they talk in a dialect, in a language which is totally different, and Mother was not knowing anything of it. And she was not able to speak in English also. There was no lingua franca for her to communicate. Then how she was communicating? This is interesting. All people were so satisfied when she is simply sitting there quiet. And they are from Bangalore, mostly from Bangalore. They are Karnataki language that they speak. Mother can't. They are also quiet, Mother also quiet, but everybody is satisfied. And that is called spiritual language. The Mother's thoughts, the blessings, the messages is reaching very clearly to their hearts. And because of their devotion, they have come, majority of them, with a great devotion, and they are going on receiving that. Here what happened? One person is to come, he was a so-called low caste, and he used to stand outside the temple. Mother's house was adjacent to the Thakur's shrine, and naturally people are not allowed to go inside like that, and particularly that man unthinkable, because he was untouchable. So he was not entering into the temple, he was standing outside the temple. Mother could observe that he is regularly coming, standing over there, and could understand that there is something wrong. Then she came to know that because of this reason, because of that, he is belonging to a caste which is very low, considered as a low caste, and the local people will never appreciate that he is entering into the temple. And how he solved the problem? One day suddenly, without any discussion, she called that young man, "Will you please come, my son, and distribute this prasad to all the devotees sitting over here?" That's all. The devotees were so happy that they are going to get the prasad of Mother, and that boy, he forgot that he is a low caste person, he is not supposed to enter into the temple. Happily, with joy, he entered. Not only that, he entered into that room where Mother was staying to bring that plate full of sweets to distribute among the devotees. And to enter into that room, he had to pass through the sanctum sanctorium, with that holy place. Nobody mind. Why? They forgot. And why they forgot? Because the devotees, they are very happy to get the prasad that Mother has touched. And Mother is giving, and she is giving through that boy. All the caste systems was removed. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you see, this caste system can be removed just by love of God. God has created. And naturally all the creation is nothing but His creation, and we belong to the God, all of us. So that is the way Sri Ramakrishna is giving the teaching. Sir, what do you think of theosophical society. The Brahma Samaj people, Sri Ramakrishna is telling that you are singing the name of Hari, it is good, but again that gentleman, he is a judge and he is keeping up his point. He wants to get some answer, so he is going on questioning Sri Ramakrishna. First he was asking, what about these two things, about the education of the women and the caste system. Secondly, he is asking, what do you think of theosophy? That there was a very prominent society in those days that's called Theosophical Society. Their headquarters still there, I think either in Madras or in Pondicherry. One Miss Annie Besant, she was very famous in those days, and Madame Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott. Madame Blavatsky was from Russia and Colonel Olcott from America. He was the only American in India at that time, we can say. And then Annie Besant. Annie Besant was very famous. They were practicing this theosophy. They used to believe that still the spiritually elevated souls are living in the Himalaya, in different caves and in the jungles, in a very remote places. And they have the capacity to travel physically from one place to another because of the yogic power. And these great souls, if they come, they can solve your problem. So not God, they were actually concentrating and devoting for those souls who can solve the problems if they are called, meditated and prayed, etc. So that way, and people started believing them. So the souls are coming from Himalaya. Sri Ramakrishna couldn't appreciate this type of thoughts because this is only a limited thought about God. He is telling, I have heard that man can acquire superhuman powers through it and perform miracles. The superhuman power and miracles. This has nothing to do with the religion, the pure religion. Those who are really interested to know about religion, they should not go for this. So what we are going to acquire by that? There is something very interesting, but otherwise there is nothing. Now in the iPhones, everything is available, but the villager, he will be wondering how you can say this thing and that thing. Here the people, before going out, checking how will be the weather, then fixing that I am going over there in the car itself. So GPS, they are fixing that I am going over there and this is my home address, asking the car to drive up to that, and wonderfully someone constantly watching you and guiding you. Is it not miraculous? The moment you are mistaken, that road you cannot take, immediately they will be taking, we are calculating, you have made a mistake, I am calculating, and they will say take turn, left turn, right turn, and then they will say you have reached your place. Here in America, people who are habituated, for them this is very, very normal. But if you go to the places where people have no idea, they will simply wonder, someone is talking. So this is very, very special. So this way, what do you think about the theosophy? The master is telling, I heard about the miracle. Then he is telling, I saw a man who had brought a ghost under his control. The ghost used to procure various things for his master. What shall I do with the superhuman power? Suppose a ghost is under your control, you can do so many things. But the master immediately is asking, what I am going to do with the ghost? He cannot bring the God for me. He cannot bring peace for me. desirelessness for me, what I am going to do with that ghost? This is the question of a devotee. The moment there is a desire within the mind, immediately the person will jump on his feet. Oh my God, do you think I can control a ghost? And I can do all these things, there will be no problem in my life. I can know everything beforehand. See, all this desire, the Sri Ramakrishna is telling, can one realize God through them? If God is not realized, then everything becomes false. This is the line we have to understand. Are you genuinely interested to realize God? Then this is for you. If not, well, there are many other options, many other things, and you can surely free to follow that. Then when those things will never give you satisfaction, come back. That is why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, if anyone has called God with a very pure mind at least once, he will surely come to me. So some people will be simply quoting Sri Ramakrishna's name along with all others, Gandhi, Sri Ramakrishna. Gandhiji is a very great person, no doubt, but Sri Ramakrishna. So this is the difference. You have to understand. Why people can understand why they are writing? Because in their mind also, this conception is totally absent about this. He is a good person. He is thinking about others. He is giving donation to others. They cannot think beyond this. And he can do miraculous things. They cannot think beyond this. So that is the important thing. That is the reason to understand Sri Ramakrishna means you have to lift yourself to a higher plane of spirituality. And higher plane of spirituality means desirelessness. And how the desire will go? Because I have only one desire, God realization. And if you have that God realization desire, know it for sure, God will protect you. You will get everything which is you are supposed to get from the society, sure. But we don't have the patience. The Swami Vivekananda is telling, unselfishness is more paying. But we don't have the patience to practice it. Unselfishness is more paying. Look at our life. We have become little unselfish, not 100% unselfish. Because still I have I consciousness. So naturally I am not 100% unselfish. But a little unselfishness that it has developed within me by the grace of God, Thakur, Ma, Swamiji. I am getting everything. So much of respect, so much of love, and so many other things which of my career, of my place persons cannot think of. Much better people, they are not receiving those things which I am receiving, I am getting. Unselfishness is more paying, but we don't have the patience to practice it. So here Sri Ramakrishna is telling about that, what theosophy, what the people are coming and helping you, and then the ghost controlling the ghost, what he will do with all those things. Then he is telling, bhakti is the only essential thing. He has come to Calcutta now. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, November 1882. He has arrived in Calcutta to attend annual festival of the Brahma Samaj. Sri Ramakrishna, he was not a Brahma, but he used to go to the Brahma Samaj. Any opportunity he will never miss. He will go, he will be there, he will talk to them. Sometimes officially, sometimes unofficially. Why? Because in those days, those Brahma Samajis were educated people. Most of them were Western educated people, and they were a little bit well-off people in the society, and they were trying in their own way to understand God, spiritual life, and that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna is going. So this time he is not going to the jungle to fight with the Rakshasas, the demons, no. He is not going to organize the army to fight as a Krishna did. It was now not necessary. What was necessary in this age? To make the thinking capacity perfect. If you can understand a philosophy perfectly, properly, if you can understand the subtleness of the spirituality properly, not only that you will be happy yourself, at the same time you can make the society totally change to a wonderful place like heaven. And that is why this time to establish religion, dharma sthapana, the God has come in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and how he is doing it? Not with the bow and arrow, not with the Sudarshana Chakra. He did, the same God did one time when it was necessary, but now through education. And what is that education? Perfect knowledge. What is that perfect knowledge? Desire, free desire. Desire, free desire. What are the freeness from the desires? From all these objects that we see in the world, because it is all transitory, because it is all moving out, because it is all going to end sometime. That is the things that we should understand, and we will be free from those desires. Only one desire that will be within our heart, that is, I like to know the truth. And that is the wonderful thing that long back in the Upanishad also we find that when they are reaching up to that truth, they are behaving in a very special way. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya upihitam mukham tattam pushan apabrinu satya dharmaya drishtaye. Satya dharma. I want to face the truth. I want to know the truth. And I come over here, I don't want anything else. That golden plate that is covering the face of the truth, you remove it. The golden face, golden cover means so many other things in this world. Name, fame, and money, everything, position, everything that is there. Before reaching to the truth, you get all these things. That is called temptation. In the Christianity, it is called temptation. And Bhagavan Buddha, in the Buddhism, they say tanha. The mar, M-A-R, mar. Mar means the personality of that tanha. Tanha means desire. Is always there in every religion. They say devil and the temptation. The devil is the personality of those desires, temptations of the worldly things, transitory things, temporary things. That is called temptation. Here it's called tanha and trishna. In our Vedic term, this is trishna, is the thirst, desire to get all these things. How we can be free from this? Here we find Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, bhakti is the only essential thing. One obtains love of God by constantly chanting His name and singing His glory. A very simple method. Constantly remembering His name and chanting His glory. Constantly remembering the God. Just we are going on chanting his name, Ramakrishna Sharanam. Ramakrishna Sharanam. There's a beautiful song. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam. Sharanam means remembering. And I am taking refuge at your feet. Oh Lord, I am taking refuge at your feet. And now the devotee is almost all over. Now it has become almost a state song of the Ramakrishna mission. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharane. Like that. Gungunate. Just we are going on musing like this. When you are bathing, when you are cooking, when you are driving, when you are going, Ramakrishna Sharanam. And when you are thinking like that, suppose in the red light, when you are waiting for the green signal, look at the sky, there is a cloud, you think that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is sitting on that cloud just like this and looking at you. Imagine that the squatting, the Bhagavan is sitting, you can see his feet, you can see his hands, you can see how he is sitting over there, and then he is looking at you. Just imagine. And where you are? With God. How? Just by imagining. And continuously when you are going on thinking of God, what will happen? Your mind will become pure. How it will become pure? Because the impurity, that is the object of this world, are totally absent. When the object of this world is totally absent, when it is not there, your mind is pure. This is the only purity and impurity. We do not understand what is purity. And all people will be marking their forehead and these and that. They think pure. It looks good, that's true. I also sometimes apply. Because when the people, they come over here and look at me, they touch my feet with great, because that is necessary also. And when you see with these dresses, that reminds us that we are monks, we are supposed to behave like this. In the Western world, when you are working, when you are putting on the, as they call, civilian dress, this is not the army dress, but still, they say the civilian dress, then you are forgetting who you are. But you have to go on remembering, I don't belong to this world. So your thought, your manners, your behavior, your thinking constantly, 100 times you should be alert. I'm away from all this. So that is the way we have to think of. So this is the thing. Let me tell you one thing. This is a great sentence. God can be seen. You can see God. Unbelievable way, in a so simple way he is telling, as if anyone, just now, God can be seen. Then he is telling, the Vedas say that God is beyond mind and speech. I think I was telling you, many of you who are attending my classes, the Sri Ramakrishna, he never says anything. After that, one can raise a question, philosophical question. O Naren, he who was Rama, he who was Krishna in this Ramakrishna, in this body, but not according to your Vedanta. See, immediately he said that. According to Vedanta, there is no avatara. So if he had stopped over there, he who was Rama, he who was Krishna is in this body, immediately people with a frowning, they will be writing, how Sri Ramakrishna say like that, according to Vedanta. He has already answered. According to Vedanta, you need not to bother about that. Vedanta means Advaita Vedanta. Here also he says, God can be seen. How? Because in the Veda it says, the Bhang, Mana, Agocharam. The Mana, the mind, it cannot reach over there. The sight, the eye cannot go over there thought cannot go over there. They all return back. In the Veda we always read. And here he is telling, Veda says that God is beyond mind and speech. Bak means speech. Mana means mind. So you cannot even express about God because you do not know what is God. You cannot express her. One of our Swamiji used to give the arguments. Sometimes some people used to say, there is no God at all. Then he used to say, I must go and touch your feet because you are the only person who knows about God. If you don't know about God, then how can you say with such a confidence that there is no God? How can you know? If you have no idea, how can you know that there is that animal that's called llama? There's a mixture. The llama. We had one llama I heard in Ganges, and I have a desire to go to Peru to see a llama. Now, if you don't have the idea which is llama, I was traveling in Gujarat. Suddenly, a sort of a cow and a sort of a mixture of cow and horse, and very forcefully one animal jumped across the road, and the driver said, Nilgai, Nilgai. I had an idea, Nilgai means, Nil means green. So I was thinking that it will be totally green, and Gai means a cow, so green cow. So that conception I was in. Now when I saw that animal, just like any other ordinary, if you don't know, you cannot recognize. So similarly, if you are telling there is no God, that means you have pakka, complete idea about God. That's why you are so confident about God. So that is the reason one cannot say, they may say, I have not seen God or heard anything from Him, so I have doubt about God. That can be okay. But you cannot say, here Sri Ramakrishna is telling, Veda said that God is beyond mind and speech. The meaning of this is that God is unknown to the mind. Which mind? He is explaining, Sri Ramakrishna. Attached to worldly objects. Sri Ramakrishna never attended schools. He never read any Upanishad or Veda. But he used to go to the monks and he used to sit by their side. He used to listen their arguments. He used to listen to their discourses. He used to listen to the recitals, and he had a photogenic memory. He used to remember all this. He himself has not read, but he knew whole thing. This is the first. And secondly, from his own experience of realization, he knew what is what. So that's why he is telling like this, that the God is unknown to the mind, which is attached to the worldly objects. So that is the reason Vaishnava Charan, he is telling, Vaishnava Charan is a very famous devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, used to say, God is known by the mind and intellect that are pure. So the Sri Ramakrishna himself could say, but no, he will never take the credit of something which he is not telling. He has heard it from someone, so he is quoting him perfectly and telling, God is known to that mind which is pure. Here we find the same thing in the Bible. Blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Is it not the same? The same confidence, you can see God. The same authority that Jesus is also telling, you can see God. But unfortunately, we are going on telling we are sinners, we are sinners, we are sinners, and purchasing with great cost. I don't know how much, at least the 4 feet by 4 feet place, so that we will be there inside that under the earth and waiting for the final call, and then we will go to heaven. And I was hearing from someone, they were telling, if you want a place which is very calm and quiet and not by the side of the road, you are not getting disturbed by the sound of the vehicles, and then there is a flower garden, etc. The cost is, even when we are dying, there is also choice. After death, we do not know where we are. But the people conception has become like this, we have to wait for a long time. So, comfortable place is necessary. I don't know, someday it will be that they will be demanding that after my death there should be a air cooler because it is so hot. And in the pharaohs, when they used to die, at that measure, there they used to keep all those things that was very desirable, and they used to kill all the slaves and the slave women's, because who will serve him when he is in the heaven? So they used to go along with them. This is the conception of heaven, conception of God. Can you appreciate those conceptions now in this modern age? We have to think. We are simply going on continuing just because somebody told something, and why not say why? How? So these are the questions we can get the answer from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who realized why we have to. We can see God right now. How? With a purified mind. How the mind can be purified? Then Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Seek the company of holy men. Again and again, almost every page of the gospel, he is telling, seek the company of holy men. Satsang, satsang, satsang. Sadhu sangha. So that is so great. The people I have seen in the temples, they are so eager to go and bow down before all the images, all the deities. Good. And then they will be burning the light, then they will be chanting, then they will be showing all the lightings before, but never listening. They are not at all interested to listen, and they don't have time also. If the time is there, no patience. So when they are finished with the gods, they will go down to the kitchen. So in between there is no time to listen. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, this is the importance of Sri Ramakrishna. And we are very few because nobody likes it. When you tell the truth, when you tell that you have to be sincere, very few followers. When you say something you just go over there, do like this, and then when you are holding your ear and sitting up and down for 3 times, all your sins are over, next again you are free from sin and continue again. People are happy. But are we not really cheating them in the name of religion? It's a complete. In the beginning you can say, yeah, you come and do this. That is the way they always bring. And then they should get the education and elevate themselves. This is the duty of the Ramakrishna mission, monks and the devotees. Why? Dharma sthapana. I believe it. And this is our holy duty, to tell people and to practice. Be and make. Swami Vivekananda said. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling only 3. What is that? Holy company. Second, practice prayer, and third, listen to the instruction of the Guru. This is also very, very important. Listen to the instruction of the Guru. Without that, you cannot make any progress. But you should not think that the human Guru is my only Guru. No. The Guru is only God. But the God's words are coming through a human being. And that is the reason you should have the respect for him. And whatever he said, it is not his own words. It is the Guru Parampara. The Guru Parampara, these things are coming down. It is not just he thought and said. No. Particularly, I do not know about others, but about the Ramakrishna Mission Gurus, all the in charges of the Ramakrishna Vedanta societies are Gurus. So that is the difference between the India and the Western world, particularly America and Great Europe. The Swamis are, in church Swamis are gurus, they give initiation. But where from this come? From the traditional guru cult. From that tradition it is coming, and they are only becoming the mouthpiece, and they are delivering that. Up to that, they are trying their best. At the same time, the blessings of God is coming down. This is not so simple. In the Ramakrishna mission particularly, I know in the Chicago, those who are getting the blessings must be all over. The gurus, after the initiation, they will be touching one thing on your head. That is Sri Ramakrishna, Ma and Swamiji's relics. Can you believe it? Here sitting in America. So this is the way we have to believe the Guru. And this Guru, three things then only Sri Ramakrishna is advising. Listen to the holy person, go to the holy person, listen to him again and again and again and again, because so many dots are there already accumulated on our mind, on our mirror. So we have to rub those, clean those. When you hear from here, when you hear, oh, this is very good. When you go out, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we forget. So that is why again and again you have to come and listen to the same words. One person who used to serve Sri Ramakrishna, he used to live with Sri Ramakrishna. So wherever Sri Ramakrishna is going, he used to go, and he used to hear the Sri Ramakrishna is telling the same thing to again and again. Then he became bored. Why do you say the same thing to everyone? Then Sri Ramakrishna said, Besh korbo bolbo, tor ki. I must say this. So what that is up to you. He didn't give him that to answer, because stopped him like that. You shut up. You don't know why I am doing this. Because this is my prerogative. I know. Again and again you are not harping, they will never understand. So that we are, when you are reading over here, you can see that again and again Sri Ramakrishna is telling that tapasya you have to do, and you must have to make that tapasya. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, these purify the mind. These three things, what? One is going to the holy person. Second, prayer. And third, listening to the Guru. These things purify the mind. The moment our mind is purified, we can see God. He said, Jesus said, and this is established truth. But how to make the mind purified? That answer is also there. And here he said, Yoga Vasishta yattu chanchalata heenam tan mano mritam uchyate. Yat tu, where there is no thought waves, that mind is called as dead mind. And tadeva cha tapa, and that is called tapasya, austerity. To make the mind dead. Dead means not thinking anything of this world. That is called tapasya, through austerity. And what is that austerity? Practice, practice and practice again and again. Then only it is possible. Shastra Siddhanta Moksha Uchyate. Then the scriptures, they say this is called liberation. Moksha means liberation. The Shastra Siddhant. What is the Shastra? Scripture. And who are the, where from the scripture, the books, they learned about it? Because the realized souls, they told this. The Shastra Siddhanta. And Shankaracharya, he is telling, Kasyasti nashe manaso hi moksha, moha, sorry. Kasyasti nashe manaso hi moha. Moha means delusion. Delusion, we constantly go on thinking about something and creating an idea. and then we are reacting or acting accordingly. Why we are acting like this? Because we have created a picture, an idea, and that is why it is delusion. We are going to die. That is no delusion. Someday we are going to die. All of us someday will go. Some early, some little afterwards, that's all. And there, if somebody goes on thinking, I am not going to die, this is a delusion. The people will surely criticize you. Some people will be there, always criticizing you. Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Buddha, Jishu Krishna, Sri Krishna, Vivekananda, all they got this. Some people criticizing them. So some people will criticize me also. Why should I be mad? Let them criticize, let me go. So we are free from delusion. The moment you think no one should criticize me, you are in moha, you are in delusion. When I was very young as a brahmachari, myself and another senior brahmachari, we followed one senior Swami to Bombay for the book fair. We are in Advaita Ashrama. We never learned the puja. We learned how to sell books. So we used to take books in the national book fair, international book fair, the Bombay that time. So we went over there. That Swami, in his own way, he was arranging, because he was the leader. And we too used to say, see, that Swami is asking us to do like that. If we could do like this, it would have been far better. If we could sell books, we could attract people. All we were going on giving our ideas. Next year, there was again, that was in Delhi. Now that senior brahmachari, he got sannyasa. He became the leader. Myself and another brahmachari, we became the assistants. This time we found, I noticed that he is in a separate room, we two in the same room, two separate beds. And after the work, when we came back, again we are discussing the same thing. If we could do like this, we are not having that freedom, otherwise we could do better. So that. Then finally, that was a Calcutta book fair, it is a huge book fair. I got the opportunity to become the leader. That the manager Swamiji told, now this time you are the leader. I was a brahmachari. But even then, he told me that you are the leader. So then I pointed out what are the things that we used to discuss that should be avoided. No one should say a single word. I should keep all the drinking water and this facility, that facility for the Swamis, for the brahmacharis, for all people. Everything I planned and then I did. One day, this was the noon time, there was not much rush, only one or two customers. So two brahmacharis, they were my assistant. So they were sitting inside a small room, and their tea etc. was there. So they were drinking tea, and I was selling that book. I was talking, so these are the book you can purchase, this is a good one, like that. Then I came to near to that place, and I could hear they are telling, why this Brahmachari Maharaj is telling like this, he is spending so much of money. I hired a car so that our Swamis, at their will, they can go back to ashrama, take rest and come back. I thought by that they will be happy. Now they are criticizing for that. So you are going to get the criticism when you are working. So one should not be mad. Brother, nobody is criticizing, that means something wrong with me. If nobody is criticizing, something wrong with me. So I should be very careful. So that is why two things we should do. What? Praying to God, please guide me. Second, whatever you think from within, good for the others, not for myself, good for the others, good for the association, good for the center, Shanga, you do, you will see you are on the right path. So how this can? By sadhu shanga. If you are going and listening to the monks, senior monks, you can learn all these things. So that is the way, slowly. Now, kasyasti nashe manasa hi moha? Shankaracharya is asking this question. how you think the delusion of the mind can be totally eradicated? Then he said, chanchalata. All the desire that is there within the mind, if you can stop that, then it is totally free from the delusion, and your mind is calm and tranquil. And when the mind is calm and tranquil, what happens? That we will discuss afterwards in the next day. Let us offer our pranam to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and then we will conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.